Are ICE monsters or are they human beings? This was a question that I asked in a video yesterday. And in the comments, I got this really interesting question. Do you think it's possible they've been told that their families will be safe if they do this? I had said in that video that it's concerning to me how many non-white folks I see working for ICE, especially the number of Latino folks I see in ICE raid videos lately, in videos of abductions of other Latinos. And so I think this really is a fascinating question. I do wonder if they have been promised something, or if there have been some kind of backdoor deal to keep their own family members safe. I have zero evidence of that, but it actually reminds me very much of the PIP program for the military. Now, I'm an Air Force brat. My dad spent 30 years in the Air Force, and so I know a little bit about the military, but I myself have not served. I am familiar with the PIP program. I'm also highly critical of the military. I have tremendous respect for our veterans. I understand what they have sacrificed in order to serve on our behalf. But I'm highly critical of the American military industrial complex. I'm highly critical of the way that our military has historically, I don't want to say preyed upon. They've recruited from vulnerable populations with the promise of the GI Bill, with the promise of the PIP program, which I'm going to explain in a second. The military heavily recruits from neighborhoods and schools that are socioeconomically depressed, that experience systemic racism, generational poverty, where access and advantages have been denied these communities and they don't have as many options. The military comes in and says, hey, we'll give you healthcare, we'll pay you. After you're done giving your life and your body and your mental health to us for 8, 12, 16 years, we'll let you use the GI Bill, or maybe, if you want to go on and get an advanced degree, we'll help pay for that training. You'll owe us more time, but we'll pay for that training. And so they go into these places where folks have limited options, and it is absolutely exploitive, right? Would somebody sign up to sacrifice their body, to sacrifice their mental health? Would somebody willingly sign up for PTSD and intense trauma for a paycheck that's not even that good of a paycheck if they had other options? And part of that sweetening the deal of military recruitment to lure folks in to sign up has been this Parole in Place program. It is specifically targeting folks who have a spouse or a relative that is here with questionable immigrant status, and trying to recruit those folks by telling them, hey, if you have a family member who needs help gaining their legal status in the U.S., then come and serve in the military and they will get special assistance and we will help make their status here legal. If your wife, if your mom, if your dad is in the United States and they are not here legally, we're not going to make them leave if you decide to serve in the military and sign up for the Parole in Place, the PIP program. We will help put your family member on the path to permanent residency without having to cause you to experience family separation. The criteria for the PIP program is a relationship to U.S. military personnel. The applicant must be the spouse, parent, or child of a U.S. citizen who is an active duty member of the U.S. Armed Forces, or is currently a member of the Select Reserve of the Ready Reserve, or is a military veteran who served on active duty or in the Selected Reserve of the Ready Reserve. That undocumented immigrant must have a physical presence in the U.S. They must be living here undocumented. That means they either entered the U.S. without inspection or they overstayed their visa. And then they apply to the PIP program, and instead of being deported, instead of being sent to a detention facility, the PIP program helps them go through the steps to switch their status from undocumented to legal permanent resident. Specifically, what it means is that if you historically have been an active duty member or a veteran who meets the qualifications, and your loved one applies for PIP, they get temporary legal status that shields them from deportation. They then can get a work authorization permit, an EAD, that allows them to work in the United States, and then they are put on a pathway to getting their green card, their permanent resident status. Now, we have seen so far this year, ICE has not been respecting that. There have been multiple spouses of veterans. I don't know if any are active duty. I know a couple of them are veterans who've had their spouses abducted and stuffed into detention facilities by ICE. One of them very famously was breastfeeding her child, who I believe was 7 weeks old, when ICE snatched her and put her in a detention facility. We've also heard from multiple reservist and active duty who qualify for this program that their loved ones' applications are no longer moving through the system. They are no longer being processed. The promises that the federal government made to these folks when they agreed to sign up and put their lives on the line for this country, those promises are no longer being upheld, which should not surprise anybody because Donald Trump has tremendous disdain for our service members. And while I have no evidence that the same kind of program is now being extended to ICE, it would kind of make sense. It would kind of make sense if they stopped processing this program for reservist and active duty and instead extended it to ICE. I would love to see some reporting on that. I've not got any evidence of that fact. If that is the reason that somebody has signed up to work for ICE because they think it will protect their loved one, they think that their loved one will get legal status, they're going to be disappointed. There is nothing you can do to secure any kind of protection for yourself or your family under a fascist regime. That's the whole point of what Donald Trump and MAGA are doing. They are dismantling all of the democratic norms. They are not keeping their promises. There is nothing they can offer you that you can trust and believe that they will honor. It's always shifting the goalpost. It's always moving on to the next victim. We've seen this already rapidly this year, as they initially claimed they were just going for violent thugs and criminals, and tons of experts on authoritarians, on human rights, even regular people were saying, no, please read the First They Came For poem. This is going to follow a logical progression. This is something that is going to not stop with claims that they're rounding up gang members, even though we know the folks that were stuffed into El Salvador in the gulag down there, not gang members, not criminals. But that they will very quickly advance not only to undocumented immigrants in this country who have no criminal record, and we saw by early May, I believe Stephen Miller direct ICE to start rounding up folks who were non-criminals, to focus on non-criminals, because it's about creating fear, it's about creating terror in our immigrant communities around this country. And we've seen them move on to folks who have legal resident status, folks who are here on asylum, folks who have work visas, folks who are American citizens. More than 170 American citizens have been illegally detained by ICE. Many of them brutally treated. Donald Trump said, I think it was back in March or April, that he wanted El Salvador to build gulags for American citizens. There is no amount of safety and security you can purchase for yourself by selling your soul to ICE. There is no amount of safety you can purchase for your family members by selling your soul to ICE. They will come for you next. History shows us. Under a fascist regime, the only people who are safe are wealthy white men. They will use you as long as you are useful to them, as long as you serve a purpose. And when they have run out of women and children, when they have abducted all of the moms out of the elementary school pickup line, when they've taken all of our construction workers, all of our farm laborers, all of the guys who mow our lawns, who run our mercados, all of the guys who have no criminal history whatsoever and are valuable tax-paying members of our community, once they've snatched all those guys up, it's your coworkers that are going to be rounding you up if you are an immigrant working for ICE. If you are not a white man working for ICE, if you're a woman, if you're a person of color, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before what you are doing to innocent people in this country, the regime will turn around and do to you. So yeah, I don't have proof of this, but I would hazard a guess that this could be happening, that they're making promises that they have no intention of keeping. And I hope every person who works for ICE, if they took a promise like this, I hope that they understand that they have blood on their hands. They are choosing to brutalize and victimize other people, to destroy lives for a paycheck and a false promise. I hope it eats them up inside. I hope they never sleep well at night. I hope they quit their jobs. Quit your job. If you work for ICE, quit your job. It's not worth your soul. I promise you, it's not.